Hello everyone, my name is James and welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be discussing who would replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes should he quit the sport. Now, if you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more Formula 1 content. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at James_Formula1, and there'll be a link in the description. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So as we know, Hamilton was in the news last week after Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff indicated that he wasn't certain whether Hamilton will be back in the car next year following the very controversial way he lost the F1 2021 title to Max Verstappen. Now, I've done a video going into more detail about what Wolff said, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description. Now, personally, I can't see Hamilton going anywhere. I think the loss to Verstappen this year will only motivate him, and I think he'll want to come back stronger in 2022 and try and win his 8th world title next year. But let's say he does decide to call it a day and opts not to return to F1 after this season. If that does happen, it would arguably open up the highest sought after seat in Formula 1, and I doubt Mercedes would be short of applications. But at the end of the day, I think the team are limited in terms of who they can choose. Now, I think first of all they would have the option of going for one of their Formula E drivers, those being either Nick de Vries or Stoffel van Dorn. However, van Dorn hasn't competed in an F1 season for quite a while now, and de Vries hasn't competed in F1 at all. So I don't think Mercedes would go down this route, as I'm sure they would want someone more experienced going up alongside George Russell, who will be joining the team next year. So instead, I can see them going for a driver currently competing in F1 who has a decent amount of experience under their belt. Now, you could just say Mercedes could stick with Valtteri Bottas. As we know, he's leaving for Alfa Romeo next year, but he has been with Mercedes for several years now. You know, he's picked up wins with them, he's picked up pole positions with them, he knows the team inside out, and he would get up to speed pretty easily. The issue is, though, is that Bottas has just gone through an emotional goodbye with Mercedes and has a long-term deal in place with Alfa Romeo. And I'm sure the team have made a lot of plans that centre around Bottas, given he will likely be their #1 driver next year. So there would have to be some kind of agreement made between Mercedes and Alfa Romeo for this to happen. And even though Alfa Romeo can always bring back Antonio Giovinazzi next year, he is contracted to drive in Formula E in 2022. So the whole process of bringing Bottas back to Mercedes might just be a bit tricky. Now, there are plenty of other drivers on the grid. I mean, Sebastian Vettel could be in with a shot, given he is a 4-time world champion and is still a very quick driver. And on top of that, a German driver in a German car is good for marketing. But honestly, I don't think Aston Martin would let him go easily, as he is integral to the team's plans going forward, and they will want to continue to get his knowledge and input as the team try and design a championship-winning car over the coming years. But there are other drivers who are worthy of that Mercedes seat. For example, Lando Norris has driven incredibly well for McLaren this season, picking up podiums and even nearly a race win. But he is central to the team's plans going forward, and like Aston Martin, I don't think McLaren would want to let him go. Pierre Gasly has also been a solid driver for AlphaTauri this season, but he may still have a shot at a Red Bull seat in future years, even after he was demoted from that team to AlphaTauri. So looking at the rest of the F1 grid, the only other driver I could see having the best chance of that Mercedes seat is Esteban Ocon. As we know, he used to be a Mercedes young driver, and he's proven himself as a really great driver, having picked up a podium, great point, and even a race win in a car that shouldn't be winning Grand Prix. He has the experience, and honestly, I could see Toto Wolff wanting him in the car alongside Russell. Whilst both are young drivers and it may take a few races for them to get up to speed, they have experience behind the wheel, and that driver lineup pretty much sorts out Mercedes' long-term future. And on top of that, it opens up an F1 seat at Alpine for F2 champion Oscar Piastri, who really does deserve an F1 seat, and it's a shame he's not on the grid for next year. So overall, as I say, I think if Lewis Hamilton does leave the sport at the end of this season, I think Esteban Ocon would be the driver who would replace him. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And until the next one, take care